It won't be long until we can get
we're live.
The AI version of themselves.
Oh, God. Hi.
Everyone.
I didn't know what Steve was going to say then. I was like, we are live. Brad, you all right? You didn't pick up anything dodgy then, did you?
No.
Well, that's pretty hilarious. This is one of the many, many episodes that we've gone live just mid-sentence from backstage over here.
Well, I was chatting, I was sorting things out, making this show kind of look as bad as it does. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode...
Holy shit, I am just seeing it now, GT. You're right. This is
what the hell is that? That's the best you could do.
You should have put like ad spot here in the boxes, you know?
I can do that. Unless I make everyone's heads really big.
Oh man,
Oh
I
my
didn't see
God.
that until just now. That is that's an interesting way to put that.
That's
What the heck?
awful because we're missing two people. I haven't got
The
time.
center of the fucking screen.
Oh, right.
Has the logo in
I'll
it.
put you there if you want. Do you want to go there?
Put me there. I want to be in the
I'll
middle.
put Alex in the middle. Oh my God.
We need, you know what we need? We need
can't
cardboard
even-
cutouts of Roots and West to have in case we have these issues.
Mm-hmm. No way. If they're not showing up, they're not getting credit for being here. All right. We're not going to pretend like we're here and put their stand in. No.
That's true.
Virtual strangers, if they're going to show up, they're going to show up. That's it.
Screw those guys.
That's what I'm saying.
So now we've got a blank space instead. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining us. Sorry about not being live Monday. Something come up Monday, pretty much from me mostly. And yeah, I couldn't do it, unfortunately. I see some people talking about Operation Wolf. Be good to have a chat about. And also, like, I spoke to, I think it was Eric was talking about how he was struggling to find a top 25. I think it was the conversation. I was listening to you guys on my travels, and that was quite interesting. So I think that's something we can dive into.
Yeah, we're actually going to do it live tonight. We're going to give my list live tonight on my show. But
oh, really?
It wasn't easy, dude. I'm telling you, it's a good topic to get into for later. Is like, it was not easy to make this list, and not because of what you think. It was for me. Out of 114 PlayStation VR2 games,
Is there 114?
Yeah, I had difficulty finding 25 that I wanted to put on the list.
I did not know there were 114 of these.
Oof. You could have done like a top 10 list.
The weird thing is
Exactly.
I've missed so many because a lot of them I've played in the past. So I'm a bit like, do I need to cover this again? Like, I can always give my opinion to anyone if they want it. So yeah, it was just interesting that you brought that up the other day. Because someone was like, have you played After the Fall yet on PSVR2? And I was like, actually, I haven't because I've already played it on Quest, I've already played it on PC. So I kind of think to myself, like, do I want to play it again? You know, I don't know. I'm not a review machine. I've got to want to play the game again a little bit myself. But interestingly enough, yeah, Operation Wolf dropped today. Operation Wolf returns first mission VR. Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, but it was not too bad. A little bit disappointing in general, but my review is out there. And VR Jasmine in the chat, she done a fantastic video on is it Catwalk VR? I think it is.
Yeah, that was a really good video.
It was a really
Oh yeah, VR with Jasmine. It was a great video, man.
Do you know what?
Did it make you want to buy one, or give you an idea that you maybe wouldn't want to buy one?
It confirmed what I already knew about
yeah,
my
same,
life.
same.
Which is that you don't want
I have
to, or
no
you do
I
want
have
to?
no desire to have that. None.
Yeah,
Like,
'Cause
I would use it
her,
for fun, but that's about
because
it.
I think her final decision on it, which I think she presented good sides, good for both sides. I think she said she would recommend it in the end, or that she thought it was a good purchase for her anyway.
Well, I never got to that bit of the video. I got about 75% of the way through, and she kind of, I guess, all right, put it this way. What she said ticked the boxes for me not to have it. And by the time I got to that point, I'd definitely seen enough. And I saw like the video wasn't doing that great. And I was like, what the hell? We need to share this about. Because it was a really well put together video, really well thought out. And you got to respect the hustle, man. That was good. And the honesty. And I'm all about that. So yeah, cheers to Jasmine. Good stuff.
Hell yeah, kicked ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys rocks.
Yeah, we got a donation coming from Scott Merrill. Thanks ever so much, dude. He put, hello, CruCast. Hope you are doing well. How is everyone doing?
I think we're doing okay. I think we're hanging on and pushing through some more difficult times, if I can speak for the class. Things don't always like, we have a lot of fun doing all of this, right? Like, it's always fun, it's always good, but I often talk about the nature of duality and just how, like, good times can't exist without rough times, kind of thing. And it can be tough to, like, constantly produce. And I know you struggle with that kind of stuff all the time, GT, and I appreciate your openness about that, because I think it gives people kind of a safe space to realize, hey, maybe I don't have to, like, beat myself up for not being 100% at all times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's okay not to be okay, as they say.
Yeah, right. But at the end of the day, like, doing the CruCast and doing Between Realities and being a part of this community is way more good than it's ever been bad. So
Dude,
it's legit.
I wouldn't have been here since 2017 if I wasn't having overall a good time. Put it that way, And Brad's been here longer than all of us, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I think Brad was 7 when he started.
He was
He
older.
was the OG among us. I'm pretty by a long shot.
Skiva, are you the tallest and the OGist?
Oh man, I don't know if I'm the OGist. I'm probably the tallest.
Yeah.
But Mash is pretty tall. Brad's actually pretty tall.
Yeah.
So we are definitely amongst tall people here.
Am I the small one?
Alex is not real
No,
tall.
Alex is a small one.
That sucks. I'm not even small. It's just hanging out with you guys. All of a sudden I am. It's messed up.
I'm not even small. I love it. Like, he's always like, do you know one thing's going for me? I'm not small. And then he hangs around, and then his best friend is the tallest guy in the world. It's like, oh. Good choice there, man. Good choice.
I know. I made a mistake.
But no, for real, it is pretty tough in the space. Eric was just saying, like, he's so busy at the moment. He's struggling doing what he's doing. And yeah, like, it is tough. It's really tough. It's such a passion thing, though.
Remember, I after our show, we were talking about, just amongst us, like, before we started last week's show, we were all, like, kind of down and, like, exhausted. But like, as we did the show, we all kind of, like, cheered up because we got to, the show's fun for us because we get to talk to each other and, like, kind of share our transgressions a bit, and it's just like meditation. But
it's therapeutic, right?
It really is therapeutic.
Some of the best times I have is before the show and then right after talking to you guys.
Yeah, no, it's like
before and after.
Not during.
Not
during. Well, during, because we're talking about, like, but I mean, literally,
you hear that live?
No, the show is fantastic.
That's funny.
The conversations that we have before and after are some of the funniest and some of the, like, most heartfelt conversations that you'll find, like, of just guys hanging out talking. It's pretty cool.
True. This is like legit VR mental health time for us. Right? Where we, like, come in, we're like, oh, can we go on? And then, like, we chat for an hour and a half and we're like, everything's awesome.
That's exactly what happened last week, Brad, wasn't it? I remember. Yeah. It was like, I remember, like, I think I said to her, how you doing? And Skeeve was like, oh man, I'm this, I'm that. And I was thinking, oh, I really feel absolutely shattered today. Like, it's been a very, very, I think it all started with the fact that we realized it's Monday because of the show, because we've been working pretty much all weekend anyway, doing what you say working, but you're doing what you're doing. Yeah. And then suddenly you're back to Monday again and you're like, wow, what the hell happened to the weekend? And what happened Friday, the week before? He's just like, and then, we was all tired, and by the end of it, obviously we're having a great time. So it's all good. And thank you to everyone who watches as well, because, well, we probably would be live, I guess, on our own, but it's a blessing you guys are here for sure.
Yeah, it definitely puts wind in our sails, like,
yeah, exactly that.
We talk about this on Between Realities all the time. It's like, we make the show that we want to have exist, and it's like the cherry on top or the icing on the cake if people show up, and they do, and it is amazing. So, like, we would continue to do the show if our audience never grew, and I think that would be the same here on the CruCast. Like, we can continue to do this if the audience didn't grow at all, but it is amazing to see fresh and, of course, familiar VR faces in the chat every week. I do love it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So let's talk about the things now that might be depressing us. Is there any topics this week?
That's a good idea.
Rip our hair out in VR. Anyone?
I've got something I could offer straight away. I just feel like I'm destroying VR games at the moment, and I hate it.
Ouch.
that is not the position I wanted to be in, you know. And like I re-scripted my Operation Wolf review, not to hide anything, but to be constructively critiquing it, you know, to add ideas of what I think would be better. And, you know, like it was pretty much the same script, but there was a different way of doing it, you know, and still get the same information across and still get how I felt about it across. Because, yeah, like with Hubris, for example, you know, I got a lot of backlash for that. In fact, on the Quest store, the top rated comment on there is about me being a clickbaiter, about Hubris, because I basically said it was the best port I'd played. One, because it was pretty amazing to play the game on Quest, but it didn't change the fact how I felt about the gameplay. Just to sum it up very, very shortly. And that's been horrible for me because I absolutely love VR and I kind of want to say positive things. And I think when people watch those reviews, they kind of think that I'm trying to be negative, to be on some sort of edge or play a different part in the scene. And it's not. It's just because if I don't feel like I'm saying my truths of how I feel about these games, then nothing's going to change. And I feel like VR gaming in general should be in a better position than it is now. And, you know, like being wowed by certain things that I feel are very basic, I'm just not there anymore, you know? And people are asking me like, why can't you just pretend that you just put the headset on for the first time? And I'm hoping my audience aren't those people, because I've been here so long, and hopefully they can maybe share those sentiments with me. They've been in the space for a long time, and that's maybe where my voice is supposed to be reaching out to, because some of the newer people are like, this game is the best game I've ever played. That's what they say, and that's fine. Like, I don't go around attacking other people's comments, but and I'm happy for them. That truth is, I'm jealous of them, because I'd love that. I want to feel like that, but I can't help but try and feel the way I feel about certain games. And I never said it was a bad game. That was the worst bit. I never said it was a bad game. I basically said it was an okay game, you know? And
it's hard when everyone everyone has different opinions about different games. If there were like a game that everyone in the world liked and no one had a criticism about, that would be weird, right? Everyone has something different that needs to be fulfilled for them, a different you know, it's we all just have different opinions, and reviewers are the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't all just like the same stuff.
Yeah,
it's just not possible.
Right. Well, and at the end of the day, like, you know, to kind of enforce what Steve is saying, like, you're sharing your opinion. Like, just because you're saying it doesn't mean that it's like truth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, you're just sharing your opinion, and like, you are a very like well-educated opinion, like, and well-experienced opinion. Like, you've played thousands of VR games, so you're sharing an opinion that is built off of having played thousands of VR games. Like, there's millions of people out there who still eat Pizza Hut. You know, they go to Pizza Hut any day of the week and they'll be like, hell yeah, Pizza Hut, I love it, it's so great. But like, a true pizza connoisseur, somebody who like travels the country eating pizza at every single place in the country, is going to eat Pizza Hut, and he's going to be like, dude, 4 out of 10, like barely hitting it. You know what I mean? And there's millions of people out there who would be like, bro, are you kidding me? Stuffed crust. Like, what? Pizza Hut. You know, so it boils down to your perspective based off of years and years and years of doing this. And, you know, obviously it sucks to like get backlash and have people say like, oh, dude, you're so wrong. How are you not seeing this or that or the other thing? But, you know, those are just people who love Pizza Hut, bro. You know what I mean?
I love pizza, and I never thought of it that way.
You know, I gotta say that it was great being on this show with you guys, and I can't do it anymore because I am starting a new career as a pizza connoisseur.
Nice, but only for vegan pizza.
That would be like a legit like dream to do. So, like, what do you do for a living? I just travel around and eat pizza.
I'd be 500 pounds. Problem.
But the problem here is that not everyone likes the same thing about pizza. Some people, the cheese is the most important part. Some people, the toppings have to be spot on and fresh and delicious. Some people, it's the crust, right? Some people don't care about the crust. They don't care at all. We all love different things about these games. I've also played thousands and thousands of VR games. Hubris is one of my favorites, right? Because like I got something that I needed or I really like, that really scratches my itch in that game. But that's not the same thing for every single person. You know, some people need stronger gun mechanics and better AI, and just they just need different things.
Bro, the 5 of us,
You know?
I guarantee all 5 of us are different gamers.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
like we all look for different
Absolutely.
experiences when we put the headset on.
I think-
So-
And things change too, because like I was saying on Virtual Strangers last week, I tried a game last week or the week before that I would normally never go into because it's not my kind of game, and that was a game called Galactic Catch. And I went in there for work, because I wanted to know what the game was about before we even thought about working with them. And I'm like, went to go in for 15 minutes, and I spent like 2 hours in there. And I am not a fan of real VR fishing. I gave real VR fishing about an hour of my time 4 years ago, and I have learned that I need to be more open to different types of games, or at least trying them, because I went in there for this game and I absolutely loved it. And now I'm hooked on real VR fishing again. Like literally I've been in real VR fishing just to hang out and have fun probably like 5 times this week.
Yeah,
and
it's
I've been
got an
back to
actual-
Galactic Catch a couple times. Like
It's got an actual multiplayer, isn't it? Like you stand there with your
Yeah.
friends on the side.
4
and
people you can get in there, I
It's
think, right?
pretty trippy, and it looks.
I love it.
It looks so well because of I think it's photo geometry they use or something, and it is crazy because they had like mist and stuff. I've seen bears and shit in the background, and you're like, what is going on here? So, yeah.
But these are games I would never normally give the time of day to, and I've come to the conclusion that and will continue to learn things. And like I said, GT is gonna, like, maybe you want to adjust the way you make a review, I guess, to something. I guess I'll do the same. And we all evolve and we change, and I learn, and that's one of the things that I'll admit that I need to give more time to games that maybe I don't think are my kind of game, and because maybe they will be, maybe it will be my kind of game.
I want to mention something you said, GT, that it's like you said how people are telling you should be, even if you don't like something, you should be kinder to it, publicity wise, that your negative review might hurt this game or the industry. I don't believe at all we're at the point in this industry where holding back words is necessary. I feel this industry is already at the point where it's past that. In fact, you're actually doing more damage by hiding your true feelings about it. There's a couple of things that happened this week that made me really feel there's some big things happening, I feel, when it comes to software and like the expected quality level for software in VR that might be happening soon. Now, one thing, I don't know when it's going to freaking come out because it's been like hyped for, I guess, a year now, but apparently that Unreal Engine injector added like 60 OF and stuff to any Unreal game. That's already probably making some indie developers for VR sweat a little bit.
I thought,
but I think,
yeah,
and I also feel even more than that, Roblox coming to VR is like one of those things that it might not seem like big for people like us. We probably don't really touch Roblox at all, but Roblox is a content machine where people can just jump in for free and have millions of things to do.
Yeah.
So if you release a subpar game and you have to have the quality level higher to actually get people to pay for stuff now, in my opinion, that are made by basically children themselves for like child labor. But
yeah, that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, Brad, that is I'm pretty much on that. So I've played Roblox in VR, and I've tried some of the stuff in there, and I've seen what's being made, and I kind of felt like the first thing when I think it was Samson in my Discord said to me, "Have you seen that Mark Zuckerberg's announced Roblox is coming to Quest?" I was like, "Shit, that is actually a really big deal." And then I read their post about basically whatever VR content is there now will probably straight away work. And I'm like, that's fucking huge, because what I've done in there already wowed the fuck out of me. Like, I have played a couple of games in there that I would say are better than some of the indie VR devs that I've had, and games that I've been access to, and I'm like, wow. And I didn't really see it like you said, Brad. I didn't really see it as a bad thing personally, because I still feel it'd be tied to a certain ecosystem, and I think it'd be very hard for the demographic above 30, 35 to even consider trying it. Unless like the Ares VR that we've seen on Twitter, unless that came out and someone went, this game, you got to try it. Like, you have to try this. Maybe that might turn some heads. But actually, back to what you said about the Unreal Engine thing, I forwarded it on as a tweet, and I was like, this is a big deal. Like, this is a big deal. And part of that was what you just said. because like those games have got massive budgets, huge flat screen budgets and teams. And I don't know how, if you actually managed, because we haven't tried it yet, managed to make a flat screen game perfectly work in VR. I don't know. I mean, that will just flip so many things.
Yeah. Put this shit in your pipe and smoke it. Roblox has around 66.1 million daily active users.
Yeah.
66.1 million daily active users.
Honestly, I believe, right, if they marketed this correctly, and bear in mind it's coming to App Labs, they're not going to market it yet properly. But when it comes to the full store, and I'm guaranteeing it's going to drop with Quest 3 or around after that. That's massive. Kids thinking that they can play this game in VR, and probably some of their friends, if they haven't already played Rec Room, this is going to be the game that is going to, well,
1,000,000%.
It could outdo Gorilla Tag. And
it's 66.1 million active users.
Even if you took 20% of those, it would outdo.
They literally lowered the age for VR to 10.
Yeah.
Right before this announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a coincidence.
No.
There's almost a total that was just daily active users.
Yes.
There are almost 200 million active users that just aren't daily.
And there's 1.4 million online right now.
Yeah, I think Gorilla
1.4 million.
I think Gorilla Tag was 90k concurrent users. That's on a pure VR
a fraction.
Game. Like, but that's what I mean. It's so impressive. Like, I remember when Veil launched, right? And I remember like thinking, like, I really hope this game makes a splash, because they chose to go fully PC and not Quest. And I remember logging in. I think their highest number of concurrent users was around, I don't want to be quoted on this, but I think it was below 100. And then it was slipping down to like a regular 24. And you're like, oh, dude, like, they put so much effort into this. You know, that tournament, it's a great game. Like, these guys they're working with the players to make it what they want. And when you see that, your heart sinks. You're like, oh, damn.
Hard.
Yeah, it's horrible, you know, but they're coming to Quest. So hopefully their investors are like, do you know what? Don't worry about that.
You think? You think those investors are like, yeah, no big deal. It's
I don't know. They look very tanned when I saw them with Botox, so I don't know.
Yeah, between Quest and I really think they could find a big audience on PSVR2 as well. So the game is pretty good. You know, I feel like if it gets on the right platforms, it could very much find its audience. So fingers crossed for them.
Yeah.
It makes you understand how important Quest is to VR. Like, you may hate Meta, you may hate Quest, you may think it's a garbage headset, but to underestimate its importance to VR and VR developers would be foolish. And we did have a $20 super chat we should probably call out.
Oh, damn. Have I missed? There it is.
It was a while ago.
Where with the advent of higher FOV optics, small form factor HMDs, hand and eye tracking becoming standard, and FBT slowly becoming affordable and self-contained.
Full body tracking.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice call.
When do each of you think we'll have a true all-in-one VR setup? So I was just going to say, because isn't the Quests like don't they do full body tracking with that or something? Like,
I mean, don't we already have one, right? The Pimax 12K QLED came out. It was supposed to come out into last year, right? Guaranteed everything all in one. Eye tracking, full body tracking, facial tracking, does your dishes, takes care of your kids. Didn't come out.
But yeah, I mean, he's basically asking for everything there, isn't he? This is Vexna3. Thank you ever so much. Sorry we missed that. I didn't miss it. It was actually pinned here. I did intend to get to it. Thank you. I don't know.
Well,
I guess Brad is probably one of the best equipped persons.
The affordable part is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
In that whole spiel, because you might get some of those things in all in one package, but it's probably going to be over $3,000. So
10 years.
At least.
Wait a decade.
I was going to say,
one other thing that I wanted to mention about this Roblox and Quest stuff before we kind of get off of the topic is that in my experience, I really do think that kids get VR. You know, like I have tried to convince people who are adults that I know that VR is the thing, and they put it on, and like for whatever reason, they just don't get immersed, or they're not feeling it, or they start to just like throw out reasons why there's too much friction for them to like use it regularly. But I feel like kids put on headsets and instantaneously immerse themselves in the environments and like just completely get it, and they like are off to the races. So
I think a lot of that too is kids don't really care what they look like from the outside looking in. So if someone's watching a kid do VR, the kid doesn't care. An adult will go, oh my God, everyone's watching me. I look like a kid idiot right now. I hate this. I can't enjoy myself because I look like an idiot to everyone else. A kid doesn't care. They'll pick their nose and you know, stand on their head in the
Eat
middle
it.
of public. I don't care.
They might eat
Yeah,
it.
I don't care.
Nice.
They
Kids
all,
like, this is awesome.
they also
That's all
don't get
there's to it.
sick. Apparently,
Yeah,
it's proven
true.
that kids just don't get motion sick. Remember when you were a kid and you used to be able to spin while looking at the floor, just round, around, around, around. It never really mattered. Like, yeah, when I went to Ubisoft, they can't test kids, but they were saying they wanted to, like, to figure out why they like motion sickness for children isn't an issue. Yeah,
I think it's learned. I think we learned, just like, you know, we've talked about motion sickness before, and a lot of it is, you know, like let's say you're going to do a driving simulator. You have been driving almost all of your life, right? I mean, for me, it's definitely been the majority of my life I've been driving. I know what it feels like. I know what the wheel feels like. I know what it feels like when I take a turn. I know every way my body's going to get pulled and how that affects my inner ear. And like, I know the feeling of it so well that when VR tries to trick me into being like, no, you're driving, sometimes that can make you feel sick because you're like, something's wrong. I don't feel the G-forces. I don't feel the bumps. I must be what's wrong with my body, right? And then you end up feeling motion sick, and you feel like you have to throw up. So I think like the longer you've been alive, the more you know what things feel like, right? And it's harder to trick your body. The kid is still learning. They're still learning their limitations, what they can do, what they can get away with without getting hurt. You know what I mean? Like I just think they're just not, their brain isn't solidified in all of these things yet, so they're less likely to get sick.
It's a good point.
Yeah, and I've got to shout out Rezel for just doing the most ridiculous, I think, donation I've ever seen of 50 VR CruCast memberships. And if anyone didn't want one, don't worry, it's very easy.
How much is a membership?
I think it's like 99 pence, I think.
$1 or $2.
Or $1.
What the hell's a pence?
It's a penny farthing, mate. No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Now I know. I still don't know.
It's $1.
It's $1. Yeah, no, a pen. Oh, it is $1. Whatever it was, I picked it. I wanted it to be the lowest one available, just because it's just a nice thing.
Yeah, make it easy.
Rezel, man,
kick ass.
Thank you ever so much. And if anyone's worried about, oh my God, is this going to be like some reoccurring subscriber thing? No, as far as I know, like if you just leave it, it will run out.
Unless you're Brad.
Unless you're Brad, yeah, Brad's like had about.
Brad gets them automatically.
It's like his 4th or 5th.
Thank you ever so much, dude. It's crazy.
Thanks, Rezel. I actually played I played some knock with Rezel on Friday after Between Realities last week, and I'm getting ready and trying to get some practice in for this tournament that's happening tonight, which is like the geezer tournament, and not your kind of geezer. It's an American geezer,
like an old man tournament.
Oh
yeah, it is. You have to be 30 years of age or older to participate in it.
Is that an old man tournament? 30?
Unfortunately, in the VR space, apparently, yes, it is.
I can't believe it.
30.
Getting spanked by 8-year-olds in knock.
I can't compete
for as long as I can think.
No, I can't compete.
Mash, we can do this in tournament.
Please.
30.
So anyway, you
old.
got to be 30. Yeah, we got in there,
old.
and we were heavy breathing in there for a couple hours. It was fun, and I'm looking forward to getting into that tonight. I freaking love knock. I think that game's amazing.
Is this held by knock? Is this a tournament by knock?
I think they're like supporting it, but I think someone within the community has organized it. But like, the knock Twitter was sharing it, so I was like, sweet, I'm in.
I'd be interested to see what heart rates get up to in that game, because you are having so much fun so fast that you don't realize it. Like, you just don't realize the amount of sweat and the heat you're producing.
And, we got in there on Friday evening, it was probably like 6 or 7 p.m. And I get into knock and we queue up for some matches. And there was like 20 people online total.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like, and this
That's
is just kind of going back
That's
to
cross-platform.
It is cross-platform. It did just come out on Steam today, which is pretty cool. And as a bonus, if you buy the game on Steam, they give you a skin for your blocks. Like you can turn your arrow into a block that looks like the fucking companion cube from Portal. It's like a true Steam and Knock like partnership tie-in. And it makes me mad because like I have it on Quest and I have it on PlayStation, and like now I want the companion cube, and it's like, what am I gonna do? Like get it on Steam? Like I don't think so.
Yeah,
but I want to.
You know what makes me mad? That 30 is considered old. That makes me so mad. I'm so bad.
Yeah. It's
like, remember how I said I was having a great day?
We should double down on this and mention what the bat.
Until somebody said the 30 is like,
be like
old man league, and I'm
Rant Daddy's back.
Dude.
Do you know what I said about earlier about being accepting?
I'm sure the greater majority of the knock community is younger than 30, which is why they put
I hate that game.
That thing.
We were just talking about Roblox for VR.
I know, right?
It's gonna explode the scene. It's gonna be weird for older people.
Yeah, no one who's 30 is playing Roblox. Like unless they're playing it with their children.
Well, I played it in VR, right? And there's a thing called. Have you guys? You played it yesterday?
I did with my kid.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. And there's someone who said it. There was a Discord. I can't remember. You know when you get like messages from other people's Discords come up sometimes, if you follow them. Someone said that, and he kind of got trolled for it. He was like, "Oh, I played Roblox yesterday," but he didn't get time to say with his kid. So everyone was like, "Oh, but yeah, he was doing it because he was spending time playing a game." That's no different. I play Mario Kart, with my kids and stuff. But I want to go back to what you said earlier, Brad. What about you guys? Like, how's things been? Is it you got any negatives you want to share at the moment? I've probably got some more, but I'd like some other people to chime in a bit.
Negative.
What sucks?
Yeah, what's been the thing that like is your gripe at the moment? And obviously we try and keep it VR focused, but yeah, I've got another gripe, but I don't want to be.
You want to be the only one that's got a gripe?
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If my channel was like, I don't know, one of those channels where you just sat there and spoke your mind, I could probably do a video a day.
I have a couple of frustrations I'd love to share. And one is I hate summer. Like I actually don't want to touch my VR headset during summer in Florida, like at all. It's terrible. Anyway, that's a small gripe. My bigger gripe is a thing going back to it's so connected. It's beautiful. We were saying about how you feel about a lot of software recently, like it's all less par, you feel. I feel like people see me the same way for hardware, VR hardware, where it's like, dude, this guy doesn't like any hardware that comes out for any headsets that come out. And I do feel a lot of every most hardware I review does kind of suck. And I think it comes to two things. One, the more passionate and more experienced you are, just like with you in software, you tend to have these candid opinions. But also the thing that frustраtes me more than anything about all of this is I'm really sick of the fact that anyone, including me, anyone who does a VR headset review, there's not like this super high standard or like accessible set of tools you can do to be able to like measure things through the lenses objectively. Like I watch stuff like Gamers Nexus, who has a crazy lab full of all these instruments to be able to sound decibels for power supplies and all this thing. And I'm looking at like, how could someone in the VR industry want to do something like that for VR hardware? And looking at it, it's like $100,000 plus to get some of this equipment. It's so frustrating that every time I have a review, my own reviews, it's mostly just me talking about my experience. I don't have any freaking scientific data that I can add to kind of corroborate with it. I spent like a whole week a couple weeks ago trying my best with like I rented a super high-end camera, trying to see if I can get some of that stuff from some of the headsets I've been complaining about for a couple of years to kind of objectify my subjective opinions. And even like that expensive camera I rented, I threw away that whole project because it's just not good enough. We don't have any freaking tools for this, and that's my rant. Okay, thank you.
I liked it. I liked it a lot, because at the end of the day, I remember watching a Through the Lens review or a couple of things, and I know that they're just iPhone cameras or Android cameras in a headset, and it's not it's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? It's not good enough, and people are like, wow, that looks so realistic, and I'm like, oh, do you know what I mean?
We need something called we need really good global shutter cameras, they're called, because most, I would say like 90% of cameras and phones or even DSLRs use rolling shutter. So you get this banding effect. And the only way you can stop the banding effect is change the shutter speed of the camera, which sucks because when you do that, most of the time you can't actually keep the same shutter speed or same exposure values between different headsets. You can't have an equal amount of settings between each headset. So you're constantly comparing these headsets through the lenses, even though you don't have the same settings. So it's all screwy. I hate it so much. It makes me so mad. Okay.
And that's where it comes down to your experience. That's where it comes down to people having to go, right, I want to hear Brad's opinion because he's used A, B, C, D, E, F in the past, and he's got these ideas and he knows certain information. That's where I know what you're saying, dude. I know what you're saying. So you've had people basically say to you like prove what you're saying. You've had people say,
it's not, I honestly at this point it's not even about people commenting about me. It's like I have this, I think it's a perfectionist thing. Like I look at my own videos, I'm like, it's not I want there to be a gamer's nexus for VR hardware, and there just isn't, and the barrier to get there is so high that I'm actually, on a personal level, I'm actually nervous, because when we have stuff like Apple coming out, we might get some of these channels that are all over tech that have way more budgets, and they might screw all the other they might screw people like me that have like no budget to buy this equipment and like take over this realm. But that's a personal thought.
I think VR headsets are one of the hardest things to judge and do, like what you're talking about, because they're so individual for each person, because it's something you put on your fucking face, right? Like it's like no other hardware that I can think of is like that. Like if you're talking about like tablets, you know what I mean? I can compare this tablet to that tablet and pretty much figure out exactly which one is better based on this, and this, because it's all the same for everybody, right? But when you take that tablet and you put it on your face and you wear it for a certain period of time, and everybody's eyes are different and how that affects them. So everything changes depending on your own personal experience with whatever headset you're wearing. Now we can agree on certain things, I think, with certain headsets, but it's so subjective in what works for what person. Like there's 5 of us here, normally 7 of us. I guarantee most of us have a different headset that we favor or that we would prefer, or we have different experiences with that headset. Steve and Brad are absolute Valve Index fans, which I am a fan of the headset, but there's things about the headset that I just don't like to tolerate, that bother me, that don't bother them. And that's a subjective thing, and the same thing with the Quest Pro. Like I'm a huge fan of the Quest Pro, but some people just don't like wearing it because it's freaking uncomfortable for them. And for me, it's not. So I think with headsets and what Brad's saying, it's such a hard thing to do because it's so subjective. There's no other thing that you wear on your face or wear in your head like that.
Well, also, we all don't all see the world through the same eyes. Like if we're talking about visual quality and stuff, I feel like sometimes I need to prove on my last medical that I've got something called 40/40 vision or something, she said, which is basically 20/20 apparently is like a standard or something, like, and you can go above that. And apparently I've got fantastic eyeballs. So but if I'm talking about a headset and people don't believe me, that the first time I saw the G2, even though everything else I didn't like about it, seeing Half-Life Alyx in the G2 fucking made my jaw drop, dude. Like I was like, shit, is this what this game looks like? And that's why I understand when Wes loves his G2, whatever problems and stuff. So yeah, as you just said, it is completely subjective.
Well, it wouldn't be if Brad had these tools that he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I need freaking robots too, because it's not just about the stationary optics, it's also the movement, like the 60 wave tracking and motion to photon latency and all these things. And my eyes won't be the same in 20 years. They might degrade. So
right.
headsets I thought were, or yeah, it drives me nuts. All right.
Yeah,
seriously, this technical hardware is based on your physical abilities, right? Or even age, like you said.
Our
because
meat bodies suck, dude. They're so limited.
they're meat sacks.
Brad's
right,
gonna
Brad,
upload
meat
his
sacks.
consciousness first out of all of us. I can see it. I can
I've
see
been
it.
fighting for that
And
spot.
we go, where did Brad go? And you'll find his body, and over there will be like a little bear. It'd be like that. Be like, that's Brad's consciousness in there, dude. And then and then in 1,000 years, we can upload him into something else, and he'll be back. And
I will replace my eyeballs with fancy global shutter cameras any day. Absolutely.
Be sick.
You heard it here first.
It's my old man eyes. That's what it is. I'm past 30. I'm well past 30. So now.
Yeah,
I
dude.
Yeah,
see
What the
anymore.
Bat is a great looking game, by the way. No, I don't know. I still haven't played it.
Oh my god! You know how many copies I've sold of that game because we've talked about it so much. People are just like, I got to know for myself. So I end up probably making them millions of dollars.
He probably
Yeah.
did, man.
Good job.
That backfired.
Completely.
I quickly want to shout out Snowtoad and Mickey Bear and Paradise Decay for dropping keys in the chat today. It's
Woo!
pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Free games just flying out from the
Heck yeah.
CruCast chat. Can't beat
I
that.
love free games. They're my favorite.
They are. They taste
know.
so good.
They do.
That's that's the only reason why I'm here right now. Is so that way I can still get free games. You know what I mean?
I remember. It kind of makes me think about when you get something like free games from a friend. It does. I don't know why getting keys doesn't actually excite me anymore. It's quite annoying. I remember first time I remember getting keys. Well, my first key I ever got was from Fast Travel Games for Apex Construct, and I remember
Nice.
playing that and thinking, "Wow, that was amazing." But now you kind of. I'm pretty glad I take it for granted, which sounds terrible, but it doesn't affect how I feel about the game, which is nice. But yeah, like getting free stuff, or when you go in a friend's house and they've got really good cereal, and they've got better cereal than you, that's what I think of it as.
Hanging out with Rich too much, I
Is
think.
that random?
Yeah, I'm like trying to connect the dots there.
I love it. I just think of it like, oh yeah, free stuff, and then I think of like really good cereal.
Now I want cereal.
Mate, I love good cereal. I was just trying to think about also what Brad said about the temperature, and I do wonder how much of an impact it has on. Because I mean, on your guys' channels, I definitely see a fall in summer. Like in general, I see a general interest of probably around half of interest drops away, and like I pretty much. I mean, I struggle. You know, I'm struggling. I had to buy I couldn't afford proper aircon. I got like a little aircon unit. I've got the sweat pads for the PSVR2. Like I'm trying to deal with this stuff because I can't get away from it. I have to do it. But it makes me wonder if I had a real choice. Would I? I don't know. I don't know.
Good question. You know, I always thought that like when there was really good ways to work out in VR, maybe that would be my thing because I love playing VR. I love being in there. But then there are really cool ways to work out in VR now that work very well, great for cardio, strength, all kinds of things. But man, when I start sweating in a headset, I generally just I just don't like sweating and having something on my face, and it's a bummer, right? And here I crank my AC down really low. I have multiple fans pointing at me. If I didn't have that, if I lived in a place that did not have central AC, man, I don't know if I could do it. It's just uncomfortable. So I don't blame people. I don't.
Dude, Mickey Bears just dropped another key.
You think he's got like just hundreds of keys? He's just like
Yes.
thousands of keys.
Where does he get them all from? He must get them from Humble Bundle or something.
That's a good one too.
No, that's a Quest key.
Zenith.
Or is that
Zenith the Last City for
it's a
Quest.
Steam key. Thank you.
Oh no, it is. No,
Nice.
is that Quest or Steam?
No, it's Steam.
That's Steam.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Steam. Yeah. Thank you ever so much, dude. Thank you to everyone being here, like 120 people again. Thank you. And I apologize about the audio versions. I do mean to do them the next day. I'll get back on it. A lot of people are now mentioning their favorite cereals. Let me know because the Americans, you guys, have fantastic cereal. Fantastic cereal. Really?
Yeah, we are heavily sugar addicted.
I was just gonna say it's very sugary. It's very sugary. Like, but damn, dude, it just looks amazing. I remember when I never had it before. When I visited Meta, they have like these stations for food and drink, and everyone just helps themselves. And they had Cap'n Crunch, but it was American style cereal. It was red, white, and blue cereal, and I thought it was the most amazing looking cereal I'd ever seen. And I really enjoyed it. you know.
So here's this: Captain Crunch is great, but the problem is if you eat it, you will completely decimate the top of your mouth, and you won't be able to eat anything else for like the rest of the day because it just tears at the roof of your mouth.
So that's interesting because the yellow pieces in OG Cap'n Crunch, yes, you are correct. Now what do they call them? Like the flavor berries or
Crunch berries.
Crunch berries. The crunch berries, I don't think have the same negative impact. And when he talks about
Well,
a
they're
red, white,
round.
and blue cereal, was it all crunch berries, GT, or was the yellow bits in there too? Well, okay,
Honey
well,
Nut Loops?
sounded
What
like
the
it made a
hell's
big
Honey
impact
Nut
on your
Loop?
life. I
It
thought you'd
did,
be
but
able
it
to
was
tell me
just
something.
crunchy and tasty. I don't know. It was just nice. I felt like I was eating America, man. I was like, oh, this is so good.
You know, no.
No.
What? Paradise DK says Honey Nut Loops. What the hell is the
Oh,
Honey Nut
dude, they're
Loop?
old school. Honey, you can't get them anymore. Honey Nut
Is that like
Loops.
Honey Nut Cheerios?
Basically, yeah.
I like Honey Nut Cheerios.
But
I am very basic with cereal. I like Raisin Bran. Raisin Bran.
Yeah,
Not because
yeah,
I ate it when I was a kid.
Oh,
What? No,
I
seriously.
felt like the old man yells at Cloud.
our resident
I
geezer
love
telling us
bran.
his favorite
I
cereal.
need
I'm
fiber.
not a sugary cereal fan. Like if I'm gonna eat sugary cereal, I'm going Fruity Pebbles all day long. But if I'm just
Yeah, I
gonna
love
eat
Fruity
cereal that's
Pebbles.
good, I like that. You know, I like Raisin Bran. I've always been a fan of Raisin Bran.
Well,
Not because it's
the
brand. I
problem-
need to be regular or anything. I'm okay. I'm not that old. I'm not 80.
Well, when I hit the ripe age of old, which is 30, I realized that I can't just have milk. Like my body doesn't allow that anymore. Like, and maybe I've always been like lactose intolerant, and I just ignored it for 3 decades. But at this point, like, yeah, I can't just be pouring a whole bunch of milk on top of my cereal every day. Like, so cereal has not been a part of my life for quite some time.
My regular go-to is just oats with chocolate protein. Pretty standard, pretty boring. But the one thing I've got is like one of those like waffle maker things that you put on the stove, and I make it with oats, milk, a whole egg, vanilla protein, and I mix it all up, and it makes 2 waffles, and then I use low sugar protein white chocolate spread, and then chocolate spread, and then peanut butter, and then a banana, and I have it as a sandwich. That
sounds delicious too.
I want to have breakfast at your crib.
Yeah,
that sounds kind of fun.
Dude, you're welcome. But that's pretty much what I have most days.
We could do a whole episode, I think, just on breakfast cereal right now. Because here's my question for you guys: are you a multiple bowl cereal fan, or are you big honking bowl with a big honking spoon?
I want to talk to Brad. I want Brad to chip in. He hasn't talked about breakfast yet. He hasn't spoken. I don't know whether he's like a 24/7 breakfast person or.
No, I skip breakfast every day.
What?
When's your first meal?
My first meal is usually lunch when I wake up at 2 p.m. every day.
He's a night owl,
so you
dude.
skip breakfast
I
by
skip
sleeping
through
through into the afternoon.
Yeah, waking up lunch. It's called that.
No way. See, you don't have any cereal? Like you don't. Thing is, when go on. But
I actually hate cereal.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they hate cereal.
What do you eat?
I go in the cereal aisle. I'm like, this stuff all looks garbage. They have freaking icy cereals and stuff now. Like, what the frick's wrong?
Icy?
Yeah, I saw an icy cereal, like red and blue icy. I'm like, dude, this is garbage. I don't trust any of these cereals, whether they say healthy or not. This is all garbage.
Do you guys have Weetabix over there?
Weetabix?
Take that as a no.
Okay.
Weetabix? Is that what you said?
Weetabix. We might as well just fucking skip that whole bit. It's a really big cereal over here, but we might as well just skip
Weetabix.
That.
We have like what do we have? Like
shredded
wheat, or like what's the one? What's the
You don't have shredded wheat.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
the big
like Wheaties, right?
Or frosted mini wheats.
So
frosted mini wheats.
Shredded wheats are over. The only reason I say is because in Ted Lasso, he told his friend he had one piece of cereal because shredded wheat is about that big.
Yeah.
So it's a big rectangle, and you have them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's not popular, but it is.
We have the frosted mini wheats. Also,
yeah, I love them. They're one of my favorites. Yeah.
You know what we need? We need Oculus O's. Anyone with
There is no company though that it would represent. Imagine if Meta made their own cereal.
Here real quick. Give me some Oculus O's.
Imagine if Meta made their own cereal, little blue M's. You know what I mean?
It would be hilarious to like
Suck
the
a bit like,
cereal, like reports back what your teeth are like to the company after eating it.
How regular you are.
Oh, man.
dear.
This is the best episode I think we've ever had. This is amazing.
They're all literally everyone's chiming in.
Literally,
with the
people,
frosting.
yeah, they're all chiming in. Like people are saying multiple bowls of cereal, one big bowl. And people were saying milk first. Like, how do you mean milk first? Like,
Milk
what, you put milk
first?
first, then
you
put
a
your cereal
fucking
in?
psychopath?
That's gotta be
That's-
so messy.
That's not even real, is it? You know what's not real? What is real, which I completely freaks me out, is the people that eat cereal with water.
What?
Like,
That's
You
a
why?
can do that with
That's a
oats.
thing?
No one does that. you
Yes,
know.
I've talked to people who are like, yeah, I use water. Like, we don't like milk. I'm like, what?
Uh,
That's insane. Or beer.
Those-
I've heard people do beer in their cereal. Yes.
Beer. I'm
Beer?
calling shenanigans.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
That's bullshit.
I don't know.
Come
Are these
on.
people like just
Happens.
laying on the floor in the street you're talking to?
Right?
You're
this is New York,
"Dude,
man."
What do you? If I give you $1, will you tell me you have a breakfast? He's like,
They
beer,
like rinse
beer
their
and
mouth with
shredded
vodka
wheat.
when, after they brush.
Let's go. What a
Oh,
better,
man.
there's nothing better to start your day than beer and Wheaties.
Weird.
Jeez.
That's a man's
How
meal.
about weirdies?
that'll put hair on your chest. Yeah.
Oh my
Man.
god.
Well, that was a bit random.
love
That well, yes, indeed.
That was random.
Yeah, cereal's good.
I
Has
forgot
anyone-
we were a VR podcast for like.
we don't have to be. I think we could just sit here and talk about
It's
anything.
summer. It's summer. We're not in VR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone else, even though I'm smiling a lot now, has anyone else got anything they want to share about this week? Maybe some frustrations or anything that's going on with themselves? Because we're here. We're here to talk about it.
Yeah, no.
You know, I can't pinpoint it. Just general depression. Yeah.
I can't imagine you have depression, Alex. You're so like
Dude,
super smart.
No, it happens, man. It definitely happens. You know, you can ask Skiva. Life is a little bit like a roller coaster sometimes, you know, and like sometimes it's like super easy to stay motivated and like get shit done and like be on top of stuff and like put your energy where it's productive, you know, but it's definitely a struggle to do that for me, you know, like I can easily just like kind of start to get pulled into a whirlpool and like just waste hours doing nothing.
Do you know what that is? Normally that's because you're probably so high on energy that you have to come down, and that can really make things worse than most other people who are quite emotionally like normal. You know, when you're like wow, yeah, this is incredible. That is energy. That and it's got to come from somewhere, you know. So if you're already on a little roller coaster, I imagine that makes the bumps even bigger.
I honestly, what I really think it is like isolation, you know, like when I go to events, when I jump into the podcast with you guys, like all of a sudden I like come to life and I kind of become like the best version of myself because I'm surrounded by other people who are passionate about the things that I like and like know me and, you know, like respect me and like we're friends and like we're exchanging energy. But when I'm not at VR events or I'm not on a call with someone, I'm like here. And like my people are not around me anymore.
I can share
You know what I mean?
exactly that sentiment because all my work in life, like when I left school, I kind of figured that for some reason my parents wanted to be in the army. Aside from that, it was computers. So I thought, right, well, that's obviously what I got to do is work indoors. And I hated it. I actually hated working indoors, and I found I really enjoyed working outdoors. So I'd gone from a life where I worked with 20, 40, maybe 60 people every day. And kind of like a little bit in charge as well. So you're dealing with a lot of phone calls, doing a lot of paperwork, stuff like that. To go into, I'm just here in this space on my own. So I feel exactly what you're saying because yeah, like as much as it's a blessing, like I feel very, very lucky to be doing what I'm doing. There are days where doesn't matter how many followers, I've said this before, it doesn't matter how many followers you have, you can feel really alone. You know, you can and yeah, so
Work-life separation is so important. And when you work at home and you work doing the thing that you love. So for me, right? So I'll work in VR and I'll have to play some VR stuff and I'll do VR things all day. And then at night I'm like, okay, I'm off. I'm gonna play a VR game. you know, and but it all kind of blends and starts to mix together, and there's no separation anymore, and it can really do things mentally to you. You know what I mean? There used to be a time where you'd come home from work, and now that part of your life, that part of your day is over. It's back at the office. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. That's
And
what.
now,
There's no
yeah,
end. I don't feel there's an
yeah,
end to it. Like there
mhm,
is no
Yeah,
end to it. There's always something I can do.
that's there's a there's a thing that I don't know, I guess a saying that's becoming popular lately, and it's like a response to the saying that if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. And then there's like popular reels and shit going around that basically say like, actually, if you do what you truly love, you never stop working.
Yeah,
Like you are
yeah,
connected 100% of the time. You are like
yeah,
always thinking about it and always basically feeling like you need to be productive in some way with like each passing second, which is like, I guess some of the things that I struggle with, you know, which ultimately ends up just crippling me and making me feel like I'm like not even able to move. I'm like paralyzed, you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's can be difficult.
I remember Benjo saying that on your show. I remember Beardo Benjo was on your show, and he said the same thing. Like when he started going and doing it for full time, and I never thought about it until I went full time doing it. And it's 100% right. There is no rest. We don't leave it alone. Like because it can be a passion, it can make it to the point where you don't put it down ever. Like you have to, like sometimes my wife is like, that's it. I'm done. You are done. You are unplugging, getting off
Turn the
for
phone off.
however
Like,
it's going to be. Yeah. And then
yeah,
if she catches me on, and you know, it's like sometimes she has to just tell me to stop. And that's what happens when you start doing something that encapsulates your entire life. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it is hard work.
yeah. Well, for us, this can ruin your passion too. It hasn't. I'm very lucky. It hasn't done that. But I think at certain points, that's where some of the frustration comes out in the games for me a little bit, because I'm a bit like we were here back in 2018, and sometimes that hurts me. You know, that does hurt me. And at the same time, though, I have to remember that there's new people, hopefully, every day. You know, so you've got to. I do try. I think I fell off a little bit, but I do try and keep that positive criticisms, explain why I'm saying what I'm saying and what it's about and where it's come from, you know, where these things are. And someone in the chat said, why can we talk about Synapse now it's out? And yeah, we can do that. I don't see where that, but a lot of people are agreeing with you, Alex. And yeah, dude, fucking what I'm sharing, you know, that's part of that. That's the hardest bit. That is the hardest bit. You know, you could have put on a brave face this whole show and not talked about it, and then that'd have been it. So,
Well, I mean, and to the point, like being here on the show, I'm not in that space. Like I feel great. I'm like, oh hell yeah. I love VR. I love what I'm doing. I love these guys. I love this community. I love all this stuff. This is fantastic. Woo. And I'll ride this high for a while after the show, you know, but like it can be very easy to just like sink back into this place of like, I don't know, just like I said, almost like being paralyzed. So it's something that I work on all the time, and like not every day is bad, right? Like I've also mentioned that like there's lots of awesomeness that happens, and I do get things done, and I am productive in ways, you know, but I can definitely beat myself up about not getting everything done that I imagine that I could, you know, and yeah, it can be difficult to balance that and navigate it.
do you know what's really cool? We'll always have this conversation recorded.
yeah.
That
So we
is
can
cool.
always go back to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can always like have a listen to yourself talk about it, which is a very rare thing to actually be able to listen to yourself and go, do you know, wow, actually that's me talking to myself a bit, giving myself some good advice and stuff. You know, it's quite hard to do.
That's my favorite part about YouTube, actually, is the archival of my journey through this madness.
Yeah. Yeah. There was when people like started losing their channels a couple of times and getting hacked, it wasn't for me personally at the time. I didn't do it full time then, but that was the bit I hated, was the idea that someone can delete my diary. You know, not that anyone else watches them. You can go back and there's probably 1,000 videos that might have one view between them from whenever. But it's kind of, for me, there's stuff where I've done, a lot of them are privated now, but I've got videos of me and my daughter playing a game, you know, me talking about my mental health, you know, like certain things that don't analytically do anything, but I wanted to share them, and now I've got them for me. And yeah, I kind of thought to myself that, like, I wonder if those guys are thinking that as well. And obviously Brad's just confirmed that is a case for a lot of people. These channels are like literally. I put so much energy into this that it would really upset me if that ever happened. Like,
take it a step further too. Think about someday you're going to be gone, you'll be dead somewhere in the ground, and your kid is going to go back and look at your channel. She's going to be looking for a way to connect with you again, right? To be able to like go back and look and see how you felt about things and listen to conversations like this. So
unless they don't like VR.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
yeah. I mean, but even if she doesn't love VR, or your kids don't like VR at all, it doesn't matter. They're going to be looking for a connection with their, with their parent that's gone or whatever. It's going to, could live on forever, or until AI deletes all of YouTube and kills.
Well, and that's why I like the podcast format, dude, because like, we spent a good amount of time just talking about breakfast today, like, it's like
Yum.
by approaching our creation of this content from an authentic place, like we really are providing the opportunity to be able to feel that connection to us when watching the video. Like if we had this whole thing like canned and scripted and like planned out the whole time, it would probably achieve that to like a less profound point. But as long as we're able to like really be like as open and honest and authentic as we can with the approach to this, then I don't think our lineage, our future children or grandchildren or whatever would have any problem watching some of this, even without the desire to know more about virtual reality, especially because by then they'll already have the answers. Like we have so many podcasts of us just being like, what's going to happen in 3 years? What's going to happen in 10 years? And like, that will have already happened. So it's almost going to be kind of like that footage of Jim Morrison talking about what the future of music will look like. And he's talking about, oh, maybe it'll be one man with a bunch of cassette tapes all around him, and he's manipulating them all in real time, and he's like guessing as to like where the music industry is going to go, and eventually we see how it all unfolded. And it's just so novel to watch someone from before it happened like take a stab at it, even if you're not in the music industry. So yeah, I absolutely think about that as well, and I'm very grateful to have like this track record and this like archival conversations that we can go back and check out, especially from Between Realities, because we always have somebody cool on our show, so we get to like see what that so-and-so was talking about before they went on to accomplish X, Y, and Z, because everybody who's been on there is just going to keep going. Like everyone is like still pushing forward and making things happen in the space. So it's pretty exciting.
It's quite funny. The other week, unbelievably, they've announced Wanderer to come to the Quest. And I went back to watch my developer interview with them, and I'm talking about PSVR2. And I'm like, I didn't even know it was going to happen. Like I kind of assumed it would, but it was just interesting to hear me talk about that, and then them talk about how like Quest just they don't feel the game could be delivered on Quest at that time, and how they feel in the future it could be. That was quite weird, like watching that. I shared a little snippet of it, but it was quite weird. And Artful said, where did he put that? He said, "We will live longer because of good cereal."
Agreed.
Yeah. The Fruity Pebbles are
Raisin Bran
extending your life.
All the preservatives will help you. Mental.
I do want to say one thing to the point of GT you were making about you looking at games now and having I don't know, maybe a little bit more of a critical look into them, and then people giving you a hard time over those looks. And my biggest thing with this is like, we all love VR. So like we want to see VR, you'd like move forward. So like if I say something bad about a VR game or GT or any of us, do you think that we are doing that because we want to see VR fail? Or do you think that we're doing that because we want to be overcritical? Or do you think we think that, you get us getting an extra 10 clicks or 100 clicks or 1,000 clicks makes any difference in the overall thing? Like I guarantee if you thought a game was great, you're never going to say a game is bad because to get more clicks. I mean, we're always looking to see if we can push VR forward, but as much as possible. But when VR doesn't, and we feel it gets stagnant, which I've been saying for a long time, that I do not want to continue to play games that we played 5 years ago. Like, again, there are games that are great out there that we consider all-time greats. Doesn't diminish the fact that they were great, but doesn't mean they're great today. Like I cannot continue to go back and say Super Hot's, a game that everybody should go play and go buy right now. It's just not. It's a game that you should have played 5 years ago and be done with it. Today, I don't want people seeing that for VR now. I just don't. I want to see what VR can do for me today. And that means that the developers need to step up in how they make their games. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give them the idea that they need to be better, and they cannot give us the same cookie cutter games that we played for years and think it's going to be okay, because it's not. And they need to realize that now. And if we lie to them and tell them that everything's great, that's doing a disservice to you as the consumer, the developer as the developer trying to make a living in this. And with this Unreal Injector, if they don't step up their game, they will all be gone. You know what I mean? We still have great games to play. We talked about Synapse, talked about Hubris. We talked about Red Matter too. There are amazing games to be played out there that we can look to and say, these are the games that we want to play. But my biggest gripe right now is the games that are garbage that just don't belong in the space. Like the curation process for games has gone. Even for our beloved PlayStation that we always said was the hardest curated library in the world has turned into a garbage dump. That is the problem that we're looking at now. Yeah. There's great games to be had there, but man, there's a lot of bad games there.
There is, but it's the same in the flat space, right?
But it always has been, but not always for PlayStation though.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier to look at VR because VR has such a just a generally smaller library, and so when there's that much garbage, it's really it's a lot. It's just a lot more in your face. But when you go and you look at Steam games, PlayStation games, whatever, there's a lot of crap, but there's a lot of good games too. So, and it's tough because a lot of these companies, they want to put out a good game. That's their intention. But what it comes down to is VR isn't making a ton of money right now. So like people have to feed their families. They have to be able to keep their electricity on. Inflation's gone through the roof. You're living in a closet now for $1 million a month. And these people are trying to make a good game. At the same time, like, man, I got to put this out or I'm going to starve to death. And my kids, so it's such a hard balance because I look at these, talk to these devs all the time and they truly want to make something special. I don't think anyone comes out and says, man, I'm going to make a terrible game and just do it really fast and scam people and take all their money.
I don't think people intend to make a terrible game, but I do think some people intend to make a very short slice of a game to get some money quick. And I think my position as a reviewer was always sort of powered by the fact I think I bought like 70 odd games before I started like going on YouTube on PSVR, and obviously for a very long time I was always buying my games, and I've always worked very hard. I've never really had like a well-paying job, so I was always doing 75 hours a week or something like that, working weekends, doing on-call teams. I've literally physically hurt myself as well. My back's gone like twice. I'm a hard-working person physically, not now anymore, luckily. I just have to do it in the gym. But I always think of the times that something like Rage Room came on PSVR and it was £40, and I played it and I was like, what the shit is this? Like, what is this? Why is
Did you rage?
I did rage.
Well, I guess you got your money's worth then.
And it, and I didn't rage in the game. But yeah, it kind of just made me think to myself, like, I tried to think of people's pockets at the same time, but you are right, Skiva. I'm also involved in like play testing and doing other things. And I think that's why I try and do play testing, because I can try and help build a better game. So when the game does get to that point of, right, this is what we're selling, it's not bad. It's good. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
well, yeah. And Eric, I appreciate your perspective in like wanting to make sure that like every time someone new comes to the space, they're getting a taste of like the best VR can offer as a means to like get them to buy in to the technology. But I don't think I agree with the idea that like simpler or older games are not good anymore or incapable of delivering those experiences. Like, I think even though we have games like Hubris and Red Matter 2, these like visually stunning games that maybe have, deep worlds that you can explore or whatever, I'm still willing to bet that if you put somebody who had never tried VR before into Beat Saber or Super Hot, they would have a blast. Yeah, like, those games are awesome.
I'd keep my mouth shut, Eric. I must admit,
they're okay.
I personally
no, they're
love
mediocre.
Super Hot.
They are not.
mediocre.
I don't
They're
agree
mediocre.
with you.
I don't
agree
with
with
all
you.
either.
They're mediocre.
Oh,
And here's
no,
why.
but-
But here's why. And here's why I'm saying this. They're mediocre for today. Back then they were great. But you're not going in, and you're not going to super hot today and go, wow, this is like the best game I've ever seen. Nobody's going to do that. I'm just telling. I'm letting you know right now. I'm maybe a brand new somebody who's never even heard of VR or never had any experience, but that is not the experience. If you can't tell me that I can't find 50 new games today that are not as good as the game that came out 5 years ago, that's a problem in VR, and you can't tell me it's not. So if you want to keep putting these old games on the top 25 list and say, yep, this is still the best game out there right now, that is a problem for virtual reality. If we can continue to have better games, then that's a problem.
Correct, but that doesn't diminish the games themselves.
If you want to make it an all-time great, that's fine. You know, if you want to call it a classic, you want to call it a retro, that's cool. And there are people out there that want to play those types of games, but there are people that we had a conversation last week. There are people out there that don't like retro games. They're all like, it's all like, retro is great to think about and like, oh yeah, I remember playing that. But if you go back and play it today, it's not the same. But there are people out there that love retro and they want to go out and play it like you do.
Of course. And yeah, I mean, I played Super Mario Brothers 3 last night in between Mario Kart races, and I loved every second of it. Now, maybe that's nostalgia or something, I don't know. But there are games like Shovel Knight, for example, that have literally made a brand new title that is within the style of a retro game. You know what I mean? And Shovel Knight is fucking badass, and it easily could have come out on the Super Nintendo or the regular Nintendo. You know, so I see what you're saying, and I agree with the fact that the VR space needs more of these like just amazing badass experiences to come out regularly. Like, I will definitely agree with you, but I cannot say that because that isn't happening, that these games are like no longer good, because I love them still.
On that subject of possibly new, better stuff coming, an article came out about a few hours ago from Nikkei Asia saying that Sony will ramp up their R&D spending in its game business higher than they have previously, about $2 billion. And a lot of that money is going into the emerging field of extended reality. To go into more detail, they say Sony aims to combine the resources of 9 game studios it has acquired or invested in during the last 2 years to aid extended reality development.
Nice,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
Where's that
That's
tweet
beautiful.
then? Where's that? Have you just
That's
liked it or shared it?
It's on Nikkei. Let me pull it up. Nikkei. Let's see if they tweeted
I'll
it.
probably just follow him, but I love your top tweet, man. Hi, I'm Brad. So good.
It's all not in English though, so you'd have to go to the website for it. But I'll post a link, hopefully on YouTube, to the actual story.
Yeah, sweet. I want to give a shout out to Classy Grandma. Thank you ever so much for the $10 donation. She's right. Hey, VR friends, I love you all. We love you too. Thank you. But oh my God, trying to keep up with who's on what show. We got everyone here. It's like playing a game of whack-a-mole. Big hug. Yeah, we've not. Wes has been bombed on the head. He's not here. Blue Bottles. Hey, dude. Thank you ever so much for the £5 donation. And he's just wrote, Classy Grandma, you rock. Have a great weekend. Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I hope you're doing really well. I hope you look forward to the weekend. I feel like it's Friday, but I know it's not, if you know what I mean.
It's not. It's not. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Tomorrow's Friday.
But
After this, I got the last. I have the semifinals for a Forever Bowl tournament, which has been
That's
a
cool.
blast to play in. I gotta say. So Forever Bowl, man, I don't know that game. I feel like that game could have been so much more. Like, it's so much fun. I feel like Wii Bowling blew up so much. I don't know why Forever Bowl isn't super popular, because it's a lot of fun. The mechanics are awesome. They have like a million different balls that all do different things. Some of their lanes are amazing. And it's just so much fun.
Forever Bowl is the best bowling game.
That's
It's really good.
It's so
In VR.
good.
It really
It's
is.
so good. I feel like if they could have adopted a business model like Walkabout Mini Golf, it probably could have done very, very well, where they continue to add new bowling, lanes and buildings and stuff. Because some of the new ones have absolutely been amazing. So there's one where you get to play like underwater, and there's like all these cool ruins around, and there's fish swimming by, and you're bowling, and it's just super fun. If they did more of that, man, I think it would have been great. I just saw Getting Things Done in the chat.
Hey,
yeah,
Nice.
so
I filmed cornhole with him. I filmed cornhole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
That's who I beat yesterday by 4 pins. By 4 pins, I won that game. So it was a good.
I've done Forever Bowl with the Duncans as well. And one thing that I've noticed across the Forever games that almost seems like an afterthought feature that I think contributes really, really strongly to the social aspect of the game, and it's their YouTube player integration. Like you can choose a playlist of all these different genres of music, hit play, and then share it to everybody else in the room. So everyone's listening to the same music at the same time. And when a song comes on, like people react to it, like you look over there and like Jay Dunn and Joy Rain are dancing with each other, their avatars are dancing.
YouTubers are thinking there goes my copyright. Like, oh,
right. Yeah, which is definitely true. But like a party needs music, and that is a really good, simple way to get music playing that everyone hears the same song at the same time, and it just works. And I think it's huge.
Hate the music that's playing, you can have it localized and jam to your own music and be like, man, I don't want to listen to what they're listening to. I got my own stuff.
Do you know what I really enjoy?
Don't do that.
Is big shout out to everyone who's joined us as well today. Thank you. I keep seeing all these great names that I know, and I don't think I've got time to read them all out because my wife's going away for the weekend and she needs this room, so I've probably got another 10 minutes. But I just want to say thank you. And one of the things I love is in American and Euro Truck Simulator, you can tune into real radio stations while you're driving those trucks. I think that's amazing, and it adds such a weird bit of realism to the game for me. Like just being able to listen to my favorite radio stations while I'm driving trucks. It's pretty cool.
Well, especially because, radio stations are truly local. So if you're driving through Montana, like you only get Montana radio stations, like that's pretty badass.
Oh man, we got again, Rezol with the crazy $50 sticker of a hippo. Is that Cheerios with Honey Nut Cheerios coming out of a box?
That'd be cool.
That is like Honey Nut Cheerios, yeah.
Yeah, thank you ever so much, dude.
What do they call them in England again?
I know we do get Honey Nut Cheerios,
Loops.
But do you obviously have Kellogg's, right? Kellogg's cereal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main one.
Honey Nut Loops was their version of that before Cheerios was even invented, as far as I know. Because we didn't have Cheerios over here when I was a kid.
Cheerios is too retro. If we can't have new cereal that makes me feel like we're moving forward in the cereal world, I'm out.
God, that was good.
I don't know if I can do this, but Brandon VR, I don't know what that deserves a donation. He wants me to say something involving cornhole and the shop thing that I don't want to say anymore that you guys can say. And by the way, I tested multiple English people and they can't do it either. That word is the same word regardless of where you're from over here.
Dang.
Pawn,
yeah.
Porn. I don't know.
Have you ever had shrimp, GT? Prawns.
I've had prawns. I've had prawns.
Have you had pawns? Porns.
Hey, $4.99 from Samson 143 VR. That's right. It's Samson from the Let's Talk Oculus podcast. Woo! And he says, much love, VR fam. Life Cinnamon, best cereal. Oh, what? Life Cinnamon is definitely not the best cereal.
Life is good. Life is good cereal, though.
We're getting cereal promotion donations. That is...
Do you have like what do you have? Do you have like honeycomb? Yeah, like honeycomb.
Honeycomb, yeah. Well, like
honeycomb is big. Yeah. It's not small. No. Just all I want to say.
Is this a commercial from the mid-70s that you're sharing with us?
Somebody's gonna know it out there. That was like a commercial that was on every Saturday morning for cartoons. Honeycomb is big. Yeah.
You
It's
had
not small. No, no, no.
cartoons only on Saturday mornings?
Well, that was like a thing.
What
though.
the hell is a cartoon? You have cartoons.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, Alex.
Cartoons.
Yeah, I knew what he meant, Alex. That's terrible making fun of GT because of the way he talks. It's not his. It's the way.
Damn it.
Yeah, I mean Saturday morning for I don't know I don't know how it is like in other places or other countries, but yeah, Saturday morning cartoons was like Transformers and like I'm trying to GI Joe for me.
I just want to stop you there. I was trolling. Like, I loved Saturday morning cartoons over here as well.
I didn't know if it's everywhere because sometimes it's like some places I know it's Sundays too, like do big Sunday morning cartoons. But
yeah, it was Saturdays and Sundays, and then it was always like only cartoons after school for 1 hour. As soon as you finish school, or whatever you want to call it, high school, then yeah, cartoons for 1 hour only, and then it was back to like boring stuff, like adult stuff.
Yeah,
like
we had Schoolhouse Rock after school.
I've never heard of that.
It was NBC
cool.
Schoolhouse Rock.
I never stopped watching cartoons. Cartoons. I'm sorry, cartoons.
I've
never stopped watching cartoons. I've watched them my whole life, and I also enjoy adult cartoons and kids cartoons.
Do you know, Alex? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share with you. So one thing I used to love, right, is the theme tunes and the intros to a lot of cartoons, because a lot of them are quite high quality ones, like high frame rate, look a bit anime and manga. But I always found some of the music really memorable. And I want you to share with me some of your favorite cartoon theme tunes, and I'll share with you some of mine.
Okay.
You show me yours.
Oh, yes. Finally, been waiting for this. Okay, so what's funny is it's not technically a cartoon, but when you talk about the theme coming to place, the first thing that came to my mind, I have to say, is Power Rangers. Like the Power Rangers theme was fucking sweet. Like badass guitar. It's like go Power Rangers. Bow now. Yeah, I was all about that song. That's the first one that comes to my mind. But in terms of cartoons, like an actual cartoon, I mean, the X-Men song was really good.
Oh, that was really cool. X-Men cartoon was really cool.
Yeah, X-Men was awesome. Dexter's Lab comes to mind for me. And I'll stop there.
My favorite was the one that I did for one of my favorites was the one for our show promotion, which was Galaxy Rangers. Galaxy Rangers is one of the cool ones. Always Transformers. There's quite a few. Jason the World Warriors, Mask. There's loads that I love.
Mask was cool.
Yeah, or Mask. That's how I do the porn.
Mask. Oh, you do Mask? Try and say it like a New Yorker. You got to do it with a New York accent.
Pawn.
Say Mask.
Yes, you did it.
Pawn.
Pawn. Gotta go to the pawn shop. Let's go.
Pawn shop. And get me a bagel. Yeah.
Bagel with cream cheese.
Yeah, I did it.
I was a big He-Man fan. I don't know if you guys are too young for He-Man, but
I remember He-Man fan.
I was big.
Sorry.
I was a big Mask fan. GI Joe.
Those toys were really cool.
Transformer. Yeah. Battle Cat was one of my favorites. It was a great toy.
Oh, Ninja Turtles theme song? Come on.
Yeah. That was so cool. And I remember seeing that in the arcade for the first time. Remember the arcade where you could have all 4 players? And I remember seeing that opening. I was just like, oh my God, that is sick.
It's like still a part of my life. I think we did that 2 weekends ago, Skiva.
We did.
I played Ninja Turtles in an arcade.
Yep.
Beautiful.
It was awesome.
Oh, somebody said Ghostbusters that was a good one. The real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters.
The real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Oh, E-Pilot is definitely from the UK with Banana Man.
Banana Man? Banana Man?
Banana Man.
Banana Man. What are you bringing that up for? Oh, Danger Mouse as well. Oh my God.
And
don't know that one either.
So the theme song for this was okay. It wasn't super special, but I gotta throw in Captain Power here. Does anyone remember Captain Power? So Captain Power, you got like a ship, and it was a cartoon, and you actually shot at the enemies throughout the entire show, trying to take out the enemies, and it counted your score. And by the end of the show, you had like
what, for real?
Score. Yeah, it was amazing.
What?
I still have my Captain Power thing. You get the good guy ships, the bad guy ships, and they would flash like right in the center of the enemies as they went by in the cartoon. So it was an actual interactive game in the 80s. It was cartoon, and I'd grab my Captain Power ship in the morning and blast away at the enemies and try to kill as many of them as I could as I watched the show. It was phenomenal.
Okay, so I'm gonna add in my Discord best. What should we call it? Like, so we can just chuck these because all these theme tunes would definitely be on YouTube. Like, and I love it when people I was just thinking we've got everything in it. We've got pet pictures. We've got people doing drawings, like loads of stuff in Discord. So I think it's going to be like
Saturday morning cartoon channel, or at least a theme. Saturday morning.
I want to call it like just favorite theme.
Brad
tunes.
In the chat and on the show said that he grew up watching Adult Swim cartoons, which made him a night owl. I have always loved Adult Swim. And it's interesting because one of my favorite shows, and honestly, like a direct inspiration for Between Realities, is Space Ghost Coast to Coast. And that has arguably the worst theme song I have ever heard. Like, it sucks so hard that I have to like mute the TV while I'm waiting for it to finish. But which cartoons did you like resonate with you from Adult Swim? Because I probably love them all.
The show I can watch like even to this day, like all the time over and over, is Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Fuck yeah, I love Aqua Teen, dude.
That show, like, I don't even know how many times I rewatched it, but every time I just freaking laugh like crazy, and it's probably formed my sense of humor, which is even from a kid. Which the reason why my mom always told me not to watch Adult Swim, but that just made me want to watch it more. I think that developed my sleep schedule for the rest of my life. So, but yeah,
dude, Aqua Teen's amazing. C-Lab 2021, amazing.
That was good. I like C-Lab. That was fun.
Fucking love C-Lab. Space Ghost. You know what? It's underrated, dude. But Venture Brothers is such a good one.
Oh yeah, it is so good.
Venture Brothers is so good. It has like a linear story arc that goes through the whole thing. So like if you watch it from the beginning, it like unfolds the whole time, and it is underrated. Venture Bros is awesome.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can pin a comment on my own bloody YouTube thing here.
Fraggle Rock. Oh my god.
Fraggle Rock. I know. I'm looking at them all.
Talking
I'm like,
Fraggle
wow.
Rock, man.
Earthworm Jim.
That brings
dude,
back
I
memories.
loved Earthworm Jim, the games and the cartoon.
Yeah.
Games were good. Don't remember the cartoon.
I think it's a good one from Thomas. The Wombles. You don't remember the Wombles? None of you probably know what the Wombles are.
Dude, what's his name here? DuckTales. Oh my
DuckTales.
God. Hands down the king. That is the best theme. Fight
every day.
Gummy Bears. Wolverine's saying Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears?
Yeah.
What the hell's Gummy Bears?
Oh, that's a
That's a
Disney
great
thing.
cartoon.
That was a Disney one.
Dude,
Cartoon.
DuckTales is so good. And Bad
That's good.
Robo in the chat says the Chippendale music was cool. And you're right. Chippendale theme was really good.
I can't remember the
The
Chippendale
dancers?
thing. It was good.
Chippendale
Rescue Rangers.
Chippendale when there's danger.
Yeah. Oh my god. Do you guys remember Ulysses? Do you know what Ulysses is? It was
No.
like an anime. Oh my, that is one of the best like 70s, 80s cartoons with a theme tune ever. And it was so good. It was my first introduction to like an anime style. And yeah, basically like the gods of Greece, that they're in space, and as far as I remember, they ban Ulysses and send him miles away. They ban him from getting back to his home planet, and him and his son Telemachus are like got to get back and defy the gods. And it was fucking cool, and it looked so cool. And it had those. Do you remember like the old spaceships, the anime spaceships, and Gundam and things like that? Oh, it was so sick, dude.
It kind of sounds sick.
It's really good. You should check it out. The music's really good, like really good. Yeah.
Scott Merrill dropping $5 saying lots of cereal commercials on the old Saturday morning cartoons.
Hell yeah, baby.
Amen. Amen.
We're
all just vying for a simpler day this week, you know? We all just want to go back and just eat some fucking Fruit Loops and watch some cartoons.
We should do that. We should all go out of our way, right, to share an image of us eating a bowl, apart from Brad, eating a bowl of your favorite cereal.
No. Make Brad eat cereal. Brad has to do it. It's like a
I'll just have an
assignment.
empty bowl and with a spoon in
Just
it.
pretend.
With your big screen beyond on.
And we should all take a picture of us watching our favorite cartoon again. That like the old days or something. That'd be pretty cool.
Hey, I'll settle for the Emu VR like retro gaming session, bro. I'll settle for that.
Yes, sir. And we
That'd
can
be
do
good.
it this weekend because Mr. GT's away, so we can definitely do it this weekend.
Ooh,
done.
I thought we were
It's
doing.
happening.
I thought we were going to do Star Trek Bridge Crew this weekend.
We can do that as well.
Yo, I've never played it, so I would love to.
I might stream it on this channel.
Heck yeah,
That could be quite.
I'm
fun.
I'm down. Let me know. I'll get in.
I might stream it on this
I
channel.
got to be the captain, but yeah, I'm in.
Have you played the game before?
No, I've never played. But I want to be the captain.
You can be the captain. I've got.
No. I want to be Uhura.
I want you to be Uhura.
People are like, "What? Who?"
Yeah.
I'll name it. I'll name an old cartoon for anybody who's older out there. Probably my all-time favorite, Johnny Quest.
Oh, dude, people used to reference me as him all the time. Johnny
Quest?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. He was the guy. Hoo-ha, hoo, and all that crap. Just because of my hair,
Quest
I think.
was awesome.
I always wear black t-shirts and blue jeans. Yeah. Oh, no, not Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, probably Johnny Bravo. You're thinking
Sorry,
Johnny Quest was
Johnny
an
Quest.
older cartoon, super cool. Probably couldn't play it today.
Johnny Quest, was that?
Hey, Brad. Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. What do you know about that shit?
A few times too. Yep.
they
tried to do
have
a sequel to it. And I didn't like it.
I agree. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
the same. But the original one's awesome. The reason why I mention it now is because it's Harvey Birdman is from the Hanna-Barbera world, which Johnny Quest also is from.
Birdman. I remember Birdman.
Yeah. Well, Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, is him no longer working as a superhero, but working as an attorney.
No.
And it is like lightning fast humor.
What?
And they have Hanna-Barbera characters who show up to like bring him cases that he takes before the judge.
That's
and
awesome.
Johnny Quest is one of the episodes.
That is unreal.
So he has like Captain Caveman bring him a case these guys.
Captain.
Yeah,
Caveman.
Pretty much.
Josie
pretty
and the
much.
Pussycats.
Yep, exactly.
Nice.
It's really good.
Have we,
it's really good.
What did I name this bloody stream today? It was something about VR.
Talking about everything VR
Dude, I was
right
gonna
now.
say, did we mention anything VR today? I love it.
Right,
This
so
is fun.
so
I'm
I'm
having a great time.
I'm starting to worry. Like Brad didn't eat cereal. He doesn't. Did he watch cartoons?
Oh, I'm actually with Alex. I watch cartoons almost exclusively to this day.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Good stuff. Have you got a favorite? Have you got something like, if you could say to everyone, watch this, like, or what is your favorite? What would you share? What would you share?
It was definitely the one I said earlier, Aqua Teen. But if we're gonna talk about like favorite cartoons, Aqua Teen, Hunger Force. But favorite anime is something called Fully Cooley, and that's like something I always tell people if they want their brains to melt to watch that 6-episode anime.
I probably don't need to.
Hell
do
yeah.
that.
I'm watching that.
Here's a
Say
question
no more.
for you guys then, and maybe the
Only the
chat
first
can get
season.
in on this too. If you could take any cartoon and bring it in and make a really cool VR game out of it, what would it be?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
TMNT.
That's it.
Akira.
Ooh, that's a good one.
These are all really good.
Brad's having a really good think.
Brad's
I think
like,
TMNT would be cool because it would be 4-player co-op. I mean, it would be awesome.
Whatever Brad's going to drop in a minute, I think we should just wait until he speaks.
No, please don't.
I'm very joking. I'm joking. I knew that would be
Silence
bad.
until
What
Brett
about,
gets
what about
in.
you, Skiba? What about you?
And mine might be Captain Power.
Yeah. Do you know when you said Captain Power, it made me think of that Nintendo cartoon with Captain N. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Heck yeah.
Yeah. That kind of
Yeah.
made me think about that. When
was good
Nintendo were
stuff.
like, Nintendo was so cool back in the day. Like
It
when I
was.
was a kid, it was so cool. And
Mm.
yeah, like having cartoons of video games was insane.
It was so good. Do you remember the Legend of Zelda cartoon? Well, excuse
No.
me, princess.
yeah.
No, they had that. That was a thing. I
Yeah.
don't
That's a
remember
meme.
at
That
all.
was a meme for a little while. The excuse me.
Oh, was
thing.
it?
Yeah, that's the only reason I kind of found out there was a cartoon because I didn't know there was.
Yeah. And then
yeah.
there's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah.
I remember
Did
that.
you guys like the new film?
Mario?
The Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
movie? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty good. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
That's good. It's a good score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's good fun. I love their ad.
Maybe 7.5.
I love
Probably
the advert they gave themselves. I thought that was wicked. Like the
Yeah.
Mario Bros. Advert for the thing was very good. Biggity Bam says we need a Castlevania VR game. Where the hell is Virtual Cop? Time Crisis? Why
Oh,
haven't these
yeah.
games happened yet, man?
Man, they'd be so good.
That
What
would be
is
sick.
We just
Would
got
they,
that,
though?
that Wolf
What?
one, right?
Yeah, you just got Operation Wolf, but I mean, it's not that
Alex?
good. I heard.
You're
Yeah.
gonna yeah, Operation Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, but Time Crisis in VR would be so cool.
Would it? Like,
I don't know.
I
If
don't
it's
know.
done right.
You've played Crisis Brigade, right?
Alex,
Like, how much better is it going to get than that?
if you put listen, think of it like what Armature Studios did for Resident Evil 4. And if you think Time Crisis like that, where the style of game hasn't changed much, but you're in the game with the sound effects, with nothing missing. Like I literally pointed out with Operation Wolf that the arcade, he's trying to be an arcade game, but he's just missing so many things that make an arcade game actually good.
But it's just an on rails wave shooter. Like, and the whole thing that makes Time Crisis what it is that foot pedal mechanic where you're taking cover with the foot pedal.
But it's still on
VR,
rails.
You would just do it.
It's still on rails.
Yeah, well, sure. Yeah, it is on rails. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like, I appreciate what you guys are saying, but I just like, I don't
if
know.
If it was on rails, but you did a cover mechanic like Fract, because you can't do a pedal, of course. But if you did a cover mechanic like Fract, where you could grab cover and just pull yourself up and down and shoot with your other hand, I think that would be cool.
That's a sick idea. We need to make a game, guys.
What's happening?
Okay, well,
I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna bet against you guys.
Okay, you keep playing Super Hot. I'm going to Crisis.
Go play Time Crisis VR and see how many people come rushing out of their houses to go and play it.
So good. How dare you?
Did you have a game? Did you have a game, Skiva? Did you have a game in the end?
Did I have
what game did you want to, like, TV show or anything you wanted to bring back?
Oh,
into VR,
I mean, it'd have been Captain Power for sure.
Captain
Just 'cause
Power,
it's like
sorry.
super action packed. There's spaceships, robots, things blowing up all the time. Yeah, I think it would make a great VR game.
I want some side-scrolling beat-em-ups, dude. I know End Dreams did one in VR. It was all right. It was pretty average, you know.
But it was still first person, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no, not that one. No, that you're on about...
Path of the Warrior is what I'm thinking.
Path of the Warrior.
Yeah, no. So End Dreams before that, a long time ago, is one of their first games. There was a side-scrolling multiplayer VR beat-em-up. Not many people know about it. It's obviously very long ago, but the characters are all like cardboard, like Paper Mario, if you think of that kind of style. And I remember thinking, like, I feel like I've got to enjoy this because it's the only thing we've got. But when you see like Sen 3D VR and the fact that you can rotate the world, look at pixels in a whole new way, I kind of think actually you could make like side-scrolling beat 'em ups into a real 3D thing, and that could be so cool. Oh, I'd love that.
You could, man. You could even make a really cool side-scrolling game that was mixed reality and just have it happening on your coffee table or something. So, you know, those types of games are super fun. Everyone can pick them up and play them because you're just mashing buttons and you're having a blast. That would be a great.
Imagine sticking on your headset and like on your table was like Tekken Tag in MR.
That'd be sweet.
That would be sweet. And then, like, say, like, for example, you did a throw and it still broke the table. You know, you still have
or you could throw somebody through your wall,
yeah,
your house, and like make a big hole, and then all of a sudden you see something else.
Does anybody want to come over and just fight me? It's like feel like that's where we're headed with this.
That'd be so sick,
right
dude.
now.
That'd be so sick. You could make that stuff happen. That'd be awesome.
But there really is a lack of that. Of those like third person type games where like you can see your character and you're doing a thing. Like I want more of those.
I'm just gonna shout, where the fuck is Astrobot? Like, where is that? Where is that stuff? Where are our demo discs? Where are our entry point experiences for PSVR2 users? Because when I was talking to some developers and they were talking about their sales, and basically it sounds like sales have dropped off of games because sales of the PSVR2 have suddenly dropped off as well because there's just been no marketing. There's been like, it's been very, even, I mean, you could say in some ways, no, there has been, like, there was that counter, someone had the counter argument, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, well, hold on, we had Ozzy Osbourne in the headset the other week, we didn't have it turned on. We had Ellie from The Last of Us, she also didn't have it turned on. And I'm like, well, okay, maybe, but they're not, I don't know, they're not the game trailers I envision that we need for games.
Yeah, what's their play here? Why did they put all this time, research, and effort into making a headset and then not promoting it, not giving us the games, and at least meeting what they did with PSVR1? PSVR1, they had some like it launched with PSVR Worlds and some really cool stuff. Now Astrobot didn't come out right out of the gate, right? It took a while, but they own this studio. They own VR studios. How were those studios not the ones with the dev kits right off the bat making games for launch? Like I feel like they dropped the ball here, and I don't know what their play is. Very strange.
I do wonder whether it's like the chicken and the egg thing or whatever, like where I think they hoped that there was like 10 million PSVR owners previously, And bear in mind, this came out in 2016. The headset came out, I think, in October. And I think 2019 is kind of a push for most hardcore users that they stayed. And then they left it a long time. And then they released this headset. Maybe they were hoping that the headsets would prove the investment. Like, these will sell heavily. And then we know we can push. As now maybe there's a flip. And they've got to be like, right, actually, no, and going along what Brad said earlier, maybe that's part of the plan. And maybe now it's not selling as well. Maybe they've realized that they have got to push stuff a bit harder.
That's an interesting thing, though, because like the chicken and the egg, like both existed simultaneously while they're making these decisions. You know, like I would love to see a game like Astrobot be a launch title for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation VR2. You know, like that is the kind of experience that will pull people in. It's an exclusive. It's really, really well done. And like, I have to imagine that they've been working on it. There has to be a sequel to that. Like that was the cream of the crop for a lot of people on PlayStation VR on the first one.
Yeah.
So
we better have a great holiday season for PlayStation VR2. That's all I can say. Or it's in trouble. We need it so bad. And I'm going to hit on it tonight. I know we got to go because Mrs. GT is like, frick out of my room, bro.
Yeah.
But you know what? Come hang out tonight because that's going to be a big topic on my show because I'm just not happy with where we are with the PlayStation VR2 right now with the amount of games that we have. Because I actually am one of the ones who thinks it's a decent piece of hardware that's just not being supported, especially by Sony and their first parties.
It's one thing the article said, I quoted earlier. I didn't really go into detail for time, but they were talking about how they want to make experiences for AR as well as VR. And I don't see them focusing on that for PSVR2 because the AR is not ideal.
Well,
obviously.
No, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't really work.
Yeah, so I don't know where that strategy comes in. Are they already looking at a different piece of hardware they're targeting to other than PSVR2? Like,
do you imagine they would launch AR games on Apple or something? Like what? Like,
I wonder if, like, because
Nintendo,
I really think that we're talking about gaming. I do think companies like Sony want to also get into the spatial computing stuff as well. So that might be some of that, like a different device. It's not fully gaming targeted, but I wouldn't be shocked because they have everything they need for that. They have the chip making skills, they have the camera skills, they have the software stuff. Like, we'll see.
Right, I really have got to go, and I'm really sorry. Like, guys, I don't know if you think this show was too long in the chat. This was a very random show, but thank you ever so much for hanging out with us. Make sure you check out the Between Realities podcast with Alex and Skiva. Make sure you check out QCC VR Gamer with Eric Mash, and sadly, it's Bradley for all your hardware VR news. Because I think that's what you do, man. You do. What the hell?
Check out Gamertag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you like reviews that shit on VR games, go check out Gamertag VR.
He hates VR, by the way. He wants to see it fail.
Kill it.
I'll rename my channel the Angry GT channel.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my god, guys, crazy.
This was fun.
What was you drinking?
Thanks for keeping it light,
Brad. What was you drinking? Quick, what was that? Container?
It's just water.
Oh, it looked like a fancy container from Star Wars.
Yeah, it's just a reusable water cup. Yep.
Right, everyone, try and have a fantastic Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. And yeah, hopefully I want to talk to these guys, and we will go live with maybe MUVR or definitely Star Trek Bridge Crew because that is bloody funny. Brad, would you join us for Star Trek?
Yeah. If it's
that
not
would be sick.
If it's not 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, I'm available.
I've no idea when that is, but yes. Cool.
Wow, the CruCast Bridge Crew. This is going to be amazing.
That would be sick.
Crew, yeah. Star Trek CruCast crew.
All right. Just run.
Take care, guys. Look after yourselves. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.